A big vote in Lansing this week means close to 500,000 more people in Michigan will have health care, but the timing and the funding are still big problems. Plus, a statewide effort to revitalize your neighborhoods. And are you still deciding what school to send your child to? We have stories out of Grand Rapids, Flint, and Detroit. Stay put. MiWeek starts right now.
Michigan's turnaround is being powered by things we do better than anywhere else in the world. Today's global leaders routinely turn to Michigan to work on their most difficult problems. That's because the engineering talent in this part of the world is simply the best. So many possibilities lie ahead for Michigan's future. These opportunities are here and starting to happen. The vision for the new Michigan. Share it, talk it up, drive it home. Funding is also provided by Delta.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for MiWeek. I'm Christy McDonald. Big news across the state this week. Medicaid expansion in Lansing, finally a plan to expand it, but it is far from perfect. Also coming up tonight, $100 million heading to neighborhoods in 5 cities across Michigan. We're going to show you how it's supposed to help out. Plus, there are billboards, radio ads, you name it. Districts statewide are still trying to sell themselves days before school starts. How effective are these campaigns? Lawsuit alert, yet another legal challenge in the mess that is the Detroit Mayoral election, and why Grand Rapids' thriving airport means bigger things to come. But we start tonight with Medicaid expansion. Close to 500,000 more low-income people in Michigan will be eligible for health insurance coverage thanks to a close vote in the state Senate. That's the good news. Bad news, it doesn't take effect until months after the January deadline for the insurance mandate, and the state could be losing millions of dollars. Let's bring in our MiWeek contributors and the editorial page editors of the Detroit News and Detroit Free Press, Nolan, Finley, and Stephen Henderson. How are you, gentlemen? It's good to see you.
Very good.
Good All right. It's been a busy week, and so I guess let's jump right in with Medicaid expansion. Good news that it finally got done. We've been talking about this for a number of months, but again, this is not going to go into effect until April.
Well, it's not, and you know, I think that's going to be the wrangling over the next little bit, whether to give it immediate effect. Legislature should give it immediate effect. It'll create less problems for the state, save the state some money. It's inevitable now. It's passed. The opponents can't derail Obamacare, and they're not going to derail healthy Michigan. They need to just get it done. But this was a really big win for Governor Snyder. All summer we've had pundits questioning the governor's political skills.
You just hooked a thumb over towards Stephen's way.
Oh, the governor can't control his Republican caucus, blah, blah, blah. This guy has not lost a thing on his agenda so far. I mean, sometimes he has to take a rocky path to get there. But this was a big win for him because it holds together, I think, or at least allows him to appeal to that moderate, those moderate independents and Democrats who gave him his victory last time. And you know, this gives him something he can sell to them.
All right, so what does he get out of this, Stephen? And does he gather back some of those moderates, independents?
Oh, I think he might. I think Nolan's right. It's a big win for the governor. It took him a while to get there.
Have you changed your mind about his leadership a little bit?
No, I mean, I still think there's stuff on his agenda that's not done. You know, he had a very successful first 2 years with the legislature. This year has been much tougher. This has not been as productive a session. There's stuff still out there that we can't get through on, and so, you know, this is the real test for him. But this was a big win, and it will appeal to Democrats and independents who he needs desperately next year because he's got to run for re-election.
But he got such a remarkable amount of things done in the first 2 years.
Well, he did, no question.
He said himself after those first 2 years that there's not that many things left to do.
Well, see, but
the
I
challenge
disagree with
now
that.
is implementation.
Well, I disagree with that.
Well, what's left to do?
Well, I mean, refinancing of schools, higher ed boost, early ed, refinancing of
wait a
cities.
Minute now. Early ed got $45 million in the last
half
budget.
of what it was supposed to get. You know, again, it's the settling for less than what we need.
And those sound a little bit more like things on your agenda than maybe on the governor's agenda.
Well,
these are not things the governor put forward as his
I'm the
top
one who gets to say what the agenda should be.
All right, so let's wait a minute. Let's circle back around a little bit to Medicaid, though. And though this did get done, it is far from perfect. What kind of funding could we be missing out on now, Stephen, because this isn't going to be going into effect until April. And can there be room for change? Can we change that so people can actually get on, so they don't have to continue to pay for their insurance before they're eligible for it?
Here's one of the real frustrating parts of this issue is that everyone wants to talk about it in terms of funding or money or cost. The cost is what we're incurring now with 470,000 people who have no insurance, who we pay for every time they show up in the emergency room with, a hangnail, and it's triple what it should be. So what we really need to focus on is how soon can we get those 470,000 people onto the insurance rolls so we start saving that money. Now, the federal government's going to pay for this, at least for the first, I think it's 3 years or 4 years of the health reform. The quicker we get that in place, the quicker we start making that money or getting that money from the government. And every day that we don't have it, we're subsidizing the other states that do have it. And that's one of the big problems in Michigan, too, is that the big donor state.
One of the big questions here is whether the federal government's going to be ready to go ahead in January with Obamacare, and there's no guarantee of that. This thing is a mess, and I think states that are
this part of it is not in question.
States that are questioning the effectiveness and the appropriateness of Obamacare are urging, including Michigan, I think Governor Steiner, are urging the administration to look at maybe some alternatives of what's working, but places like Rhode Island, liberal Democratic state that put in a whole different style Medicaid program and actually cut their costs. And the problem is Washington is so entrenched. It's either all Obamacare or no Obamacare.
Well, that's because of the Republican position.
Oh, it's also because it's the Democratic position, the no compromise position. They see any effort to change Obamacare, to alter it to meet some of these concerns.
That's actually not true.
As a concession that they did the wrong thing in the first place, which they did.
I think also that we're finally getting the conversation that people are starting to understand that they have to start to prepare for this. There's going to be a lot of conversations in the next 2 months now that this is coming. Are people educated about it and what they need to do for it and be prepared?
Well, no, of course not, because they don't know what it's going to look like. They've already delayed the employer mandate, so employers have no idea what to expect. Most of the rules still aren't
they know what to
written.
expect because they delayed it. I mean, they said we're not doing it. So
Up
that
the
was
road,
the expectation.
they said they're not doing it for now.
Right.
But up the road, they still don't know what the rules are going to be.
Okay.
So you still have people making investing and hiring decisions
No question.
based on a law they don't understand yet.
Stephen, last word.
Again, every major social reform that's been accomplished by the federal government in this country has suffered this kind of attack. Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid. In the end, they all moved us forward. They all were huge social changes. This was no different. Republicans will squawk about it. It's going to make 50 years from now, no one will ever question the wisdom of this.
We can all agree there's going to be some growing pains. All right, moving on. Just hours before counting the last ballots in the Detroit mayoral primary, state workers were told to stop. On Thursday, someone filed a lawsuit challenging the Board of State Canvassers' authority to certify the Detroit election, and an Ingham County judge put a stop to the count. So is there validity to this argument, or is this just another embarrassment that we are almost a month after a primary election and we do not have a certified result?
Of course, it's another embarrassment. No, there's no validity. Detroit's an entity of the state. Of course, the state has the right to certify the election. Who else was going to sort this mess out? And this wasn't just someone who filed the lawsuit. This was the opponent of Janice Winfrey in the clerk's race, Will Coxon, who has an interest in this. And why in the world the Ingham County Circuit Court would inject itself into this yet again is beyond me. They had to see this as a frivolous lawsuit.
Yeah. When I saw this headline come across yesterday, I said, really?
Well, I mean, you have this sort of running issue right now in Detroit, which is if you can't win at the ballot box, you win in the courthouse. And that happens over and over with things that should be settled, that somebody says, well, no, I'm going to go to court and raise a frivolous issue. And in this case, it really is, and delay the outcome of what voters want. There are huge problems with this lawsuit. One is the idea that somehow the state has no right to go into ballot boxes and count votes, which is laid out explicitly in state law. That's the process, in fact, for disputed counts is to go in and take a look. But there's also this sort of running narrative of this idea of sovereign cities. In other words, that the city is its own place and we manage our own affairs and the state has to stay out of it. That doesn't exist either in our Constitution or in statute in this state. People have got to understand cities are creations of the state in Michigan, and we govern according to state law, not according to local whim. And the more we sort of argue over this stuff, I think the harder it gets to battle that sort of cultural problem that we have, which is that people believe we're somehow independent from the state of Michigan, and we're not.
And the Ingham County Court has set itself up sort of as the opposition government in Michigan, and has allowed Robert Davis to make that court sort of his.
Robert Davis, a union activist who has followed a lot of lawsuits.
The AFSCME guy who, sort of owns that court, and something has to change in that regard. You can't have these two-bit judges in a circuit court undermining government, stalling government across the spectrum.
I mean, local elections take place in Michigan at the behest of the legislature and the Constitution and the statutes that we have. They are not things that we invent for ourselves. This all happens under the rubric of state law, which is the governing principle, and we just got to understand that and stop fighting about all this other stuff.
Hearing on Tuesday, and hopefully we'll start to get those vote tallies sometime soon. When you say blight, many people will immediately think of Detroit's problems with abandoned structures, but it really is a problem facing cities across Michigan, and many would argue an obstacle to revitalizing these areas. A big announcement this week brings $100 million to 5 Michigan cities. These bulldozers demolished 5 abandoned, burned-out homes on Turner Street on Detroit's west side on Monday, just the beginning of the largest effort in state history to take on blight. The funds, approved by the U.S. Treasury, come out of the Michigan State Housing Development Authority's Hardest Hit Fund, and that fund is supposed to help homeowners affected by the housing downturn. So here's the breakdown of the money and where it's going. $52 million for Detroit, $20 million for Flint, about $11 million for Saginaw, over $3.5 million for Pontiac, and $2.5 million for Grand Rapids. 4,000 homes in Detroit alone are expected to come down, a total of 7,000 structures statewide. I asked Governor Snyder if he's confident there is a plan in place to make full use of the funds.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a strong deployment. That's why I think MSHDA was a great opportunity to be that clearinghouse, to partner with the city and the federal government. So we're all working together, as opposed to having separate efforts being done different ways. This is about teamwork, and a teamwork that's cooperating with the neighborhood.
It's also important to point out that $10 million will be placed in reserve, if you were doing the math along with us there. So first off, finally seeing the feds coordinating with a state effort, do we finally have an effective tool and an effective amount of money to fight blight in the state?
Well, no. I mean, it's going to take something along the lines of $700 million to tear down every structure in Detroit if we continue to do it the same way we've been doing it. I was out to Brightmoor this week where young Bill Pulte is preparing another 14-block area to take down all of the abandoned homes. And I went over a few blocks away where the state and city our blight programs are going on, and they come into a neighborhood with 10 abandoned homes and tear down one and then leave and go to another neighborhood, and it doesn't change the dynamics of the neighborhood. You go to this 14-block area where they've cleared out all of the abandonment, all of the overgrowth, and the neighbors are coming out and saying, look, the gunshots stopped, police came in and cleared out the drug houses. It's got to be a more comprehensive effort, a more targeted effort. And by the way, he's doing it for about half the price the city normally spends.
Well, he's trying to do it for half the price that the city normally spends. He hasn't proven out that model quite yet. I mean, he's got ideas, but hasn't really delivered.
Well, they've done it on the east side. They're now doing it
But the cost is not. I mean, they're not taking out basements. That's a big problem. That's a big difference.
Also, I think an interesting thing about some of the areas that they've targeted in Detroit, and this is not talking about some of the other areas in the state, but they've also worked with the Detroit Future Cities Project to say, okay, now let's be smart about where we're going to be demoing a lot of these homes too, which is an important part of this
that's right,
dynamic.
and that is the important part of what Pulte's doing, is saying, look, let's concentrate on one area and do everything there. Don't just knock down one house or two houses. Knock down all of it so that we can have you can have a plan for what comes after. What they did over on the east side, if you go over there, I mean, you can see the possibility for investment now, because there isn't one house here or an overgrown lot there. It's all prepped for something new.
And it's the same in Brightmoor, and they're strategic about it. The neighborhood, the 14 blocks they're doing in Brightmoor, and they're going to move on east,
Right.
right up against Rosedale Park, one of the nicer areas of the city. So in clearing out this neighborhood and stabilizing or getting rid of the blight in this neighborhood, you help stabilize one of your better neighborhoods,
Right.
because that blight will creep. And on the east side, it was up against, they're going to go
It's
up against
Eastern
Indian
Market
Village and
and-
Eastern
sure.
Market. And you've got to be strategic with it. You can't just keep doing what we've been doing is, here's 10, 12 grand, go tear down one of the 6 abandoned houses on McDougal Street.
Yeah, and I think it's also some interesting use of, or creative funding use, also using it from the Hardest Hit Fund, and now you're starting to try to get that federal funding and put it in those different pockets. It's interesting you say that, because when I was on that street on Monday on Turner Street, I sat and talked to a neighbor who was sitting there, and he was looking across the street, and he said, yeah, I'm really glad that these houses are coming down. I said, well, do you know the rest of your neighbors next door to you and whatnot? He goes, oh, well, there's no one living in the
no one
houses
there.
next
Yeah, and
door
that's
to
the
me.
point. You can't just you tear down a few and walk away, and you still got the same problem of abandoned homes leading to crime, becoming drug houses, presenting a danger to the people and the children in the community.
Well, you also now have to make sure that these cities that are all involved in this, so we're talking Grand Rapids, Flint, Saginaw, Pontiac, Detroit, that now going back, that they're going to make sure that, yes, we are going to be able to do this with this money in the amount of time that we need to do it, that the money doesn't linger or things get backed up with how you're going to get it done.
Right, and you look at the cities on that map. I mean, look at Pontiac. That is a very key investment in a city that's just come out of emergency management and is ready for investment and some sort of new direction. Getting abandoned houses down there, and $3.5 million is a lot of money to spend in Pontiac on that. That's going to make a huge difference.
And
Well,
it's important too, though, to involve the community in what happens next. If you don't ask people what are we going to do now with all of this vacant land? How do you want to see your community redeveloped? You're going to be right back in the same problem. You're going to continue to lose people. Out in Brightmoor the other day, you had folks saying, look, we want to do, you had a lady say, we want to build a great big greenhouse. We got 4 lots here, but the city owns a lot here, and they won't give it up because, they think someday it's going to be, we're going to have some big plan for it. Well, we got to get over that and start letting these neighborhoods redevelop their own communities.
Important partnerships. All right, well, it is the final days of freedom for kids. Public schools are back in session on Tuesday. Parents are cheering everywhere. But the competitive
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Well, the competitive marketing campaign to get kids to enroll in certain districts are still up and running around the state. How effective are they? I mean, you cannot go down a freeway without seeing billboards for different districts. Is this the most competitive, year that we've seen so far with the schools?
Well, you've got a bunch of districts that are desperate now, right? They're on that brink where if they don't get the right number of kids through the door, you've got to start making some major changes. And again, I think this points to this larger issue that we have, which is that we just have too many school districts, and we can't afford the overhead that we're carrying. And so, I mean, these districts are out there pushing really hard to get kids into those desks by count day, which is when
In
the money
October,
shows
right?
up. Yeah.
And some of them are doing some pretty despicable things. Sign up and get a pair of shoes, sign up and get an iPod or whatever. That's not how you should pick your kid's school. Excellent Schools Detroit and some other organizations do a very good job of trying to help parents pick the right school for their children. Problem is, as Steve says, you've got desperate districts. There are 70,000 more school desks in Detroit, both private, charter, and public, than there are students. That's an excess capacity of 70,000 seats for kids in the city of Detroit. So it's going to drive a lot of strange marketing campaigns. I think this idea that Snyder and Flanagan, the school superintendent Mike Flanagan, are working on to sort of consolidate districts, not the hybrid system he's got to keep their sort of independence, but make decisions on seating students across the wider area will take some of that pressure off.
So you think that'll ease off the competition?
It might. I mean, you're still going to have a lot of the competition is also coming from charters, right?
Right.
We've now got no cap on the number of charter schools that can be started in the state, and that means you've got a lot of new operators coming in saying, I want those kids, and so you're going to see, you talked about billboards. Listen to the radio in Detroit, in August, and every ad is for a new charter school saying, hey, we're going to teach your kid Mandarin, so you should enroll here. And again, there's no real way for parents to judge that stuff other than this Excellent Schools
And that's an
Detroit
important
report.
tool, but let's not, I don't think the goal is to diminish competition. Competition is one of the reasons you see school districts coming and saying, oh, we're going to offer Mandarin, we're going to offer more programs. My point is, you should make your choice based on the academic performance and offerings of the school, not an iPod or some other gimmickry. But you absolutely have to have school competition, or they get lazy again and start neglecting their
well, and the
Well,
competition.
perhaps they stepped up their game.
The competition's partner is quality control, and that's the other place that we're lacking in Michigan.
But we're doing much better on.
See, I disagree with that.
Well, and the kids are heading back to school on Tuesday. All right, turning now to Grand Rapids and the news that as of this month, you can now hop a Southwest flight out of Ford International Airport. Now, what's interesting here is what a group called the Regional Airlines of West Michigan has managed to do for Ford Airport over the last 4 years. The group, made up of private funders, headed up by Dick DeVos, has managed to spend millions of privately raised money to improve the airport, attract new carriers, which in turn drove down ticket prices and gives people a viable option outside of Chicago or Detroit to fly into. It's a good read in Cranes this week, but very interesting about how important an airport really can be for a region, and how does this set up Grand Rapids now to do some bigger economic development, I think.
Well, I think this is a product of the growth and our growth Grand Rapids has been experienced in terms of its redevelopment of its downtown, but also as a region, picking up more jobs, picking up more development, more residents, really become a powerhouse in the state. It's not a sleeping little West Michigan town by any means. I mean, they have taken off over the last few years. But, you know, they've brought a lot of colleges, campuses in and to their downtown area. It's you know, I think it's a reflection of what they've accomplished to date, and certainly will give them a boost.
So does it also, oh, go ahead.
Well, and think of how they do things. My wife is from Grand Rapids, so we spend a lot of time there. And if you look at the way they do things there, it is very different than the way we think of things in Southeast Michigan, where we sort of let government take the lead on all of these kinds of things in development and planning. Over on the west side of the state, private interests have more of a out front role, and government is more of a partner, sometimes a secondary partner to that stuff. And so they've been able to get things done that we just keep tripping over ourselves about here. And this is a good example. I mean, you look at this airport project. This was a private idea. Think of how long it's taking us to get the Aerotropolis, which is a wonderful idea, maybe the best thing Bob Facano's ever done. But think of how much fighting and tripping over ourselves we had to do to get that done, because we had government and the sort of government stuff
and it's still
in the
empty.
way. And it's still,
Right.
it's not empty, but it's not
basically empty.
Does this also kind of show?
It's got a closed racetrack.
It's got a closed racetrack.
We're getting there. But does it also show that every city needs almost a Dan Gilbert and a Dick DeVos
But think
to
of
drive
that,
things?
Yeah.
It does.
With big money.
With big money, but also with the appropriate government sort of partnership. And there's something about that over in West Michigan that works differently than it does here. And I mean, I happen to think it's because we are much more about government. I mean, government means something very different to us in Southeast Michigan than it does over in West Michigan.
And so we can see which model works better.
Well, it's working better now for them. Now, for 50 years, it worked way better for us. I mean, this is a much better
Not the
place.
last 50.
But now it's a bit of a change. Well, we couldn't leave the show tonight without taking a look at possible intervention into Syria this week and everything that's happened with the U.S. What's been on your mind, Nolan, as you've been watching this unfold?
Well, there are no good options here. We're in a corner. You've got Barack Obama has said, and I think rightly so, that we're not going to tolerate the use of chemical weapons. We can, as a civilized society, tolerate that. And it appears that the Assad regime has used those weapons, and now we have to respond. If we don't respond, if we do what Britain did and said, hey, we don't want to think about this, we're turning our head away from this, what's going to stop Assad from gassing the rest of his rebels? And, oh, by the way, Iran's watching. If we tell Syria, you can't do that, and then say, well, never mind, Iran is going to move ahead with its nuclear ambitions and ignore our threats and warnings.
What's the proper reaction, do you think, here, Stephen?
Well, I think you got to do something, but you've
what?
got to define your goals pretty specifically here. I mean, there's no tolerance in this country right now for another ground war in the Middle East, which we just extracted ourselves from Iraq and Afghanistan, people are not going to support us going back into Syria for that. And then within Syria itself, are these rebels, part of Al-Qaeda? That's entirely possible. We don't know. But certainly Assad's regime is not supportable anymore. You've got a big sort of mess here that you've got to, I'm looking for the president to articulate a specific set of goals and then sell that to the Congress, as opposed to just saying, well, we got to do something and then ask.
So do you think he'll take any kind of military action to the Congress first, or do you think
he's got to make a case to Congress for his own credibility, because he was a leading voice against George Bush when George Bush didn't do that. Joe Biden stood up and said we need to impeach George Bush because he didn't do that. They can't then go in and do the same thing. But he can't just throw missiles around at empty buildings and call it a day. They've got to do something that's going to work. They may be able to destroy Syria's air power, provide air cover for the rebels, and make a real difference that way without ground troops and without a huge involvement by the U.S.
And the world will be watching. So, gentlemen, have a great weekend. We so appreciate it. And that is going to do it for My Week. Make sure you join our growing social community on Facebook and on Twitter so you can stay part of the conversation during the week. And catch up on shows you missed at MiWeek.org. For all of us at Detroit Public TV, have a great weekend. Make sure you come back and see us next week for My Week.
Business Leaders for Michigan is dedicated to making Michigan a top 10 state for jobs, personal income, and economic growth. Learn more at businessleadersformichigan.com. Funding is also provided by Delta,